Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's harder than I like to think, but it's easy when you're by my side. No point in calling, you just have to see the fundamentals of our life tonight. Cause I've been looking at a photograph of you, and I've been thinking about all the ways you move. This isolation got me feeling like I'm moving my love. Yeah, when I wake up I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart. Killing time, we got nowhere to be. You're sending messages I can't ignore. I'm contemplating, come here close to me. I'm bored at home, can't leave the house no more. But I've been looking at a photograph of you, and I've been thinking about all the ways you move. This isolation got me feeling like I'm losing my love. Yeah, when I wake up I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart. You, when I wake up I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart.
Well, I think a part of it is I finally got the approval of my attorneys to do so. They, the ones working on the defamation cases, they said it's easier to win a defamation case the more the people talk, and so they've been collecting a lot of evidence over the past while, and also I think that now that some of the emotion has died down in the world, and with people that are led by their feelings, I think now they deserve to hear some logic and some truth, and make their own assessment.
Do you miss her?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you see this coming?
Yes, but it doesn't change at all the power of the pain of reality. I saw it coming for years. I told them for years this would happen over, and I said if she gets off her medicine, suicide is the next thing. You know, she tried it in the past, but with me, she always remained okay with me. She was on her meds with me. She was healthy and happy. Even if she did get low or stop taking her medicine, I would help her get back on it, and things would be fine. Without me and with her family, she's off meds, and she committed suicide. And I told them this would happen over and over again. I tried my best to stop her from getting a gun. I went to judges. I have copies of all the police. I talked to her counselor, the pastor she was going to, her family, her friends. I told them all, don't let her get a gun. Do whatever it takes, prevent her from getting a gun. And when she was with me, she was never able to go that far. But with them, that's exactly what happened, and it destroyed me, and honestly, I still haven't really grasped it. Like, it hasn't. I kind of keep putting off the reality of it, and I try not to think about it as much as I can.
What was going on in your marriage?
And good morning. How are you doing today? Yeah, this is quite an interview. I think in his mind it went well. Good to see you, by the way, Lori. I have been door dashing and applying for some real jobs that will pay me for my time, unlike YouTube. So I'm pumping out live this morning just because this case is North Carolina, Myrtle Beach case, North Carolina, South Carolina border there. Part of Myrtle Beach is in North and part of it is in South Carolinas. And so I wanted to finish covering this case. And, you know, my presence will still be here on YouTube. I just have other endeavors going on, and this will become my hobby, not my source of income anymore, obviously. On that note, my memberships are available starting at $1.99. If you're interested, you can use little emojis that I've added, and I do members-only lives. I also do audiobooks. Anyway, so getting back to J.P. Miller, you're going to see him touch his nose. I believe Plunder said some 60 sometimes during this interview he touches his nose. And he comes completely undone. I'm going to go back and we'll pull up some of her coverage of this as well. I really like Plunder, but this one is the Raw News Nation interview footage here. I'll go back to this here. You're going to see him come completely undone.
The week Micah died.
The week she died, we didn't talk that entire week. I'd emailed her several times that week, and my regular emails are sending her letters telling her that I love her. And she came over to the house. The last time I saw her was a few weeks before she passed away. We spent about 4 hours together, and we hugged and kissed, and she was in and out of psychotic conversations. She would say, you know, one thing about double agents that are following her.
Now, I'm going to react to comments he makes because the entire interview, he is gaslighting her family and putting all the blame of his abuse on them. So he is the, textbook narcissist right here, accepts zero responsibility.
That was one of the phrases she would use when she was offered meds, double agents. The other phrase she would say, she wants to come home so bad, but her family won't let her. She told me she wanted to live in Africa and asked me if I'd live with her. I said, sure, if you
Thank you,
take your
Lori,
medicine,
I appreciate that.
And so she told me if I'd give her some money and if I would write her a letter saying certain things in this letter that she would take her medicine. And so I tried that, and but she desperately wanted to come home. She was just so afraid her family would disown her. And so the week before she passed away, I probably emailed her maybe 7 or 8 times that week just saying, I love you, you need your lithium, you know, don't forget who you are when you're on medicine versus who you are when you're off. She had lost 40 pounds in a month, and nobody that was in her life thought to take care of her.
You will notice about him when he talks in his sermons, when he's interviewed, he exaggerates, and when he exaggerates, he uses numbers, okay, which is easy to come back and say, well, right here you said it was 12 judges you talked to when it was really just 1. Right here you said that she had attempted to unalive herself 6 or 7 times, but then you come back later and say it was just once. So he tends to exaggerate his stories and embellish for dramatic effect.
She passed away. I probably emailed her maybe 7 or 8 times that week just saying, I love you, you need your lithium, you know, don't forget who you are when you're on medicine versus who you are when you're off. She had lost 40 pounds in a month, and nobody that was in her life thought to take care of her. Nobody. She was living with a former registered nurse. Her family, quote unquote, were taking care of her. She lost 40 pounds in 1 month, and no one thought she needed help.
He gaslights her family the entire time, puts all the blame on them, almost like when he, I'm not going to say if, when he is caught being involved in this, my opinion, entitled to it, when he gets caught with his involvement in her unaliving, I believe, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. This guy's, I'm looking at these tears. What you don't see beforehand is he broke down before the interview, and it took my focus off what I was getting ready to say. You can see it where he's been crying, but anyone that's been around people with addiction, this guy's on something, clearly on something. It's almost like, well, I know what I was going to say. He wanted to say, see, told you so. See, you kept her from me, and I told you this was going to happen. He wants a I told you so moment so bad that he was willing to X his wife to get that, see, I told you it's not me, it's you moment.
She was talking about living in Africa. No one thought she needed help. She's making videos on Facebook, and if you see the videos, you know it's not her because she has a different cadence, a different tone, a different amount of words per minute when she's healthy and on medicine than when she's off. And the way she was even looking into space when she's taking those videos, you knew she was delusional. And if somebody loved her enough to take her to a professional.
And he made her take drugs, made her participate in extramarital affairs with escorts that he picked up after dinner. It's amazing.
Okay, this woman says she's being abused, or this woman says, you know, this, or she's lost 40 pounds in a month. If someone thought I need to take her to a professional, that professional would have known that she needed medicine. And the reason I know that's true is because I took her a few weeks before she passed away. I took her to probate court, and in 3 minutes time, she went in, she walked back out. When I went in, they said, your wife is mentally ill and she needs medicine desperately. And I said, okay, let's get her the medicine, let's get her help. And they said, she's not a
He's always exaggerating time, always exaggerating the math.
Danger to anybody in society, so we can't force her to do it. But if one of her family members or friends had taken note of the way she was acting and seen what was happening to her physically and taken her to just one professional,
absolutely,
they could have saved her life.
He totally did. I agree with you, Lori.
The best way to start selling on...
Let me get through this commercial here.
Coming for years. I told them for years this would happen over, and I said if she gets off her medicine, suicide is the next thing. She tried it in the past, but with me, she always remained okay. With me, she was on her.
With me, she was fine. With me, she was on her meds. With me, everything was perfect.
Meds. With me, she was healthy and happy, and even if she did get low or stop taking her medicine, I would help her get back on it, and things would be fine. Without me and with her family, she's off meds and she committed suicide. And I told them this would happen over and over again. I tried my best to stop her from getting a gun. I went to judges. I have copies of all the police. I talked to her counselor, the pastor she was going to, her family, her friends. I told them all, don't let her get a gun. Do whatever it takes, prevent her from getting a gun. And when she was with me, she was never able to go that far. But with them, that's exactly what happened. And it destroyed me, and I still haven't really grasped it. Like, it hasn't. I kind of keep putting off the reality of it, and I try not to think about it as much as I can.
What was going on in your marriage the week Micah died?
The week she died, we didn't talk that entire week. I'd emailed her several times that week, and my regular emails, or sending her letters telling her that I love her, and She came over to the house. The last time I saw her was a few weeks before she passed away. We spent about 4 hours together, and we hugged and kissed. And she was in and out of psychotic conversations. She would say,
He tells the most bullshit stories, Lord. He's going to tell you in a minute how they were romantic every single night of their marriage. It gets so deep. Put your waders on, man. It gets so deep. Notice him touching and scratching his nose, and his eyes are what they say, glossy. He looks high as a kite.
you know, one thing about double agents that are following her. That was one of the phrases she would use when she was off her meds.
Yeah,
double agents.
he's on,
The other phrase she would say,
he's
she
on
wants to come home
drugs,
so bad, but her
period.
family won't let her.
My opinion.
She told me she wanted to live in Africa and asked me if I'd live with her. I said, sure, if you take your medicine, you know.
I'm sure he said
And
that.
so she told me if I'd give her some money and if I would write her a letter saying certain things in this letter that she would take her medicine. And so I tried that. And
Okay, this letter that he's referring to is him admitting to putting the tracker on her car, him admitting to having her followed, him admitting to all the abuse. He's saying here, oh, she had me write that and then she would come back home or some shit.
but she desperately wanted to come home. She was just so afraid her family would disown her.
Yeah,
And
see?
so the week before she passed away, I probably emailed her
Sure
maybe
is.
7 or 8 times that week just saying, I love you. You need your lithium. You know, don't forget who you are when you're on medicine versus who you are when you're off. She had lost 40 pounds in a month. And nobody that it was in her life thought to take care of her. Nobody. She was living with a former registered nurse. Her family, quote unquote, were taking care of her. She lost 40 pounds in 1 month, and no one thought she needed help. She was talking about living in Africa. No one thought she needed help. She's making videos on Facebook, and if you see the videos, you know it's not her
His
because she has a
whiny-ass
different cadence, a
voice.
different tone, a different amount of words per minute when she's healthy
His
and
whiny ass voice.
on medicine than when she's off. And the way she was even looking into space when she's taking those videos, you knew she was delusional. And if somebody loved her enough to take her to a professional and say, okay, this woman says she's being abused, or this woman says, you know, this, or she's lost 40 pounds in a month. If someone thought, I need to take her to a professional, that professional would have known that she needed medicine. And the reason I know that's true is because I took her a few weeks before she passed away. I took her to probate court. And in 3 minutes time, she went in, she walked back out. When I went in, they said, your wife is mentally ill and she needs medicine desperately. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's get her the medicine. Let's get her help. And they said, she's not a danger to anybody in society, so we can't force her to do it. But if one of her family members or friends had taken note of the way she was acting and seen what was happening to her physically and taken her to just one professional, they could have saved her life.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
Now, his dad is even wanted in Pakistan for,
Did you see this coming?
let me skip this part.
A letter,
Hold on a second, let me get to this part here.
medicine. And the reason I know that's true is because it was,
Which friend is that?
I probably wouldn't want to name her because
Here we go. Right here. Okay, here we go.
it was after it had happened.
What do you think happened that day?
So, according to what she's tried to do in the past, and according
His
to her
father is
doctors who have
wanted
taken care
in
of her for years, and
Pakistan.
according to me, who's seen it over and over again,
For abusing underage children. So his father is in a shit ton of shit too.
I imagine that she was in an incredibly euphoric attitude. I saw her pictures on the Dick's Pawn Shop. Someone sent me screenshots of the Dick's Pawn Shop pictures where she's smiling, which out of the 6 or 7 times that she tried to commit suicide in the past,
See, there he
only
says
one of
6
those
or
times
7
was she
times,
depressed.
but it was
The
only
other times
once.
she was very euphoric. And she would
Yep.
wake up and say, I think I'm supposed to die today. And I said, no, honey, you're not going to do that. She said, well, my mind tells me that I'm supposed to kill myself. I said, we're not going to listen to your mind.
He's so full of
We're
shit.
going to take you to
Yeah.
a doctor and get you help. And I discovered, of course, that she had stopped taking her meds each time. But either way, she was in a euphoric attitude. And so you see the Dick's Pawn Shop video where she's wearing her her work clothes, and with a smile on her face.
Here he goes with this
So they
crying.
sold her a weapon, and then I assumed that she drove. She told one of her best friends. So far, the four people she spent the most time with every week, no one's interviewed or talked to those four people. And one of those people that I talked to told me that she told her 2 years ago, if I ever commit suicide, I'm going to go to this place in Lumberton, the state park or something like that.
Which friend is that?
I probably wouldn't want to name her because I saw this friend one time here in public for 30 seconds. And of course, Robbie S. Harvey, as usual, got somebody to take a picture and destroyed the girl's life, brought up her past and horrible things about her. So people are scared to tell the truth or to talk about the good things of Micah because of the social media.
So this
mobs.
friend says that Micah told her, if I'm going to take my life, I will probably do it in Lumberton River State Park.
She told me that after Micah passed away, but she told me that Micah told her that 2 years ago, yeah.
Did she say why? Why that location?
She said because Micah told her it was peaceful and outdoors. And Micah did love the outdoors, loved the outdoors. Vacations were outdoory vacations, 'cause that's what she loved. So
Has she ever been there?
No, not that I know of. Not ever that I know of.
Do you guys have any connection to that area?
Not at all. I never
Have
even
you ever
heard of
been
it. Nope, I've never even heard of the place. I never even heard of, what's the city? Robinson County. I never even heard of there before.
So did it strike you as, before you heard this, did it strike you as odd when you heard that where she went and what they say allegedly happened? Did you question it at all?
Well, I thought her family had made it up and had somebody call me and say that. So that's one big thing. I didn't think it was real. When I found out it was real,
I know, right?
you know how like you tell somebody something, you tell them, then when it happens, you don't want to say I told you so because it's a horrible thing. That's what I felt like. I felt like I told y'all, like I told her family this so many times you can't imagine. I told her friends this. I told everybody. I said, if y'all don't get her lithium, she's going to commit suicide. Her doctor told her this on paperwork where her doctor said this. And then when I get the call, here's what I felt like. I felt like the world's biggest failure because I spent the past 3 months when her family got her out of the hospital and didn't bring her home, and her dad talked her into buying him a car, and all this stuff was happening that was all crazy. I made a vow that I was going to do something every single day to try to get her back on her lithium and save her life. And so every day I did something. Sometimes I did 4, 5, 6, 7 things. Some days it's just one thing. But every day, whether it was an email, a text, visit someone, talk to a family member, talk to a friend, go somewhere, go to a judge, go to probate, I'm going to do something to save her life. And I spent every single day for those 3 months doing that.
I
So getting
bet
that phone call
he did.
made me feel like
I
the
bet he
world's
made her life hell.
greatest failure. I was against the whole world because everyone told me that it wasn't true and that I was making it up and that whatever they were saying. So it was me against the world for 3 months, and I failed.
What was the call, and who was the call from, and what did they say?
Man, it was a man. I got a call, and it was I think it was a detective. I think, and I remember him being very calm and very
Right,
nonchalant.
exactly.
And so that's when I thought, well, this is not real. And so I started screaming. I had a family member that was there with me. I started screaming for them to use their phone to call the hospital where the guy said she was at. And my family member called the hospital and said it was real. And I still didn't believe it. And so I called
He's scratching
a police
like
chief
he's
that I
high,
know
ain't
somewhere
he?
around here, captain or somebody.
He's on opiates.
And I said,
Do you think it's
there's a
opiates
detective
he's
named
on?
such
He's
and such on the phone
snorting
telling me
opiates,
these
ain't he?
things.
The way
Like, is
he's
this
scratching
real? Is
his
this a real
face,
person
he's
or not?
snorting oxys.
And that person told me that it was real as well. And I just remember, screaming really loud and throwing up everywhere. And
What did they tell you?
I remember throwing up. Did I have spaghetti that day? It was a lot of throw up. It was something red. I'm sorry.
What did they tell you?
I don't remember that. Oh, no, I don't remember that. Hold on. I don't remember. He said, my family member called the hospital and spoke to, I think, either the head nurse or medical examiner or somebody. And that lady read me stuff that the Robinson County, I guess it wrote on a piece of paper, and she was reading me suicide and the weapon and where it was at and all these different facts. And so then because the detective would not tell me it was suicide, and then I called him back
Hey, Night Owl.
and
Good
told
to
him what
see
the hospital
you.
told me, and he was
Hey.
pissed off and asked me who that
Got
lady's
an
name
interview
was,
of
and I
this
didn't know her name.
SOB.
And if I didn't know, I wasn't going to tell him
Good to
anyway, because
see ya.
I'm glad she told me. Anyway, and so
He's using
and
M&M's.
I said, "Is this stuff true?" And I can't remember if he said yes or just hung up. I don't remember.
Do you remember what he said though?
Oh man,
He's lying.
I don't remember at all. If I try to enunciate it, I'll probably be making something up based on all the crashing of everything going on. So I can't tell you for sure.
Did you ever question the findings that the authorities gave to you that this was suicide?
No, I mean, I'm not a detective. I watched Scooby-Doo growing up, but that's what everybody seems to be acting like, is they're part of the mystery machine. But my Lord, like, let her.
You're going to see this guy, Night Owl, high as a kite. He can't keep his hands off his face or his nose. He goes in and out of just bullshittery. He over-exaggerates and embellishes. He totally gaslights her family. The projection, the denial, all of it. He is the atypical narcissist.
Be at peace. Like, she's in heaven. She's not worrying about all this stuff. Let her rest. Let her memory rest. She had suicidal tendencies over and over, year after year, off medication especially. She went to Dick's Pawn Shop before, purchased a weapon, and tried to do the same thing. She drove out in the middle of nowhere. She called 911, left a voice message. I don't really understand what else could be. But you know what? I'm not a professional, so I don't know.
In other words, it all added up to you. It made sense to you.
I mean, I'm not a detective. If she had heart surgery, I'm not going to question the heart surgeon. I don't know anything about detective work at all.
Right, but it's your wife. I mean, and them telling you her life has ended.
Are you trying to ask me if I think somebody murdered her?
Do you think anybody murdered her?
No.
We have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. There is a lot more of news.
Yeah, we'll just bypass that right here and go right here to right here. Okay, see if it'll play right here.
And here's his reaction.
Hey, that
One
wild
of the
card.
things
Good
that
to see
raised
you. And
eyebrows
Split Pea. Good to
initially
see
for the
you.
public was when you gave a
Good to
sermon
see
here
you.
and you announced publicly that she had committed suicide. And you attributed it to her mental health. Why did you feel the need to come out with that at that moment?
That's a great question. So first, let's discuss why I preached that morning. Is that okay? Okay, so people have been asking that. So have you ever taken any psychology classes or anything like that?
Very few.
He's asking an
I
interviewer
haven't taken any.
that.
So I would love to find a book or a psychology professor or someone that could tell me the correct
Y'all
response
notice the nose itching?
when you spend 7 years trying to keep someone alive by just taking a few pills that their family tells them not to take. Then when they don't take it, they go into a hospital, their family takes them out, and then you spend 3 months trying to get them help when their family's telling them that you're evil and the bad person, and then it finally happens, the thing that you've been dreading for 7 years, and you're trying to prevent for 7 years, then it happens. I don't know what the correct response
He's
is,
on
right?
oxy.
Am I supposed to stay home and cry? Am I supposed to go out with my friends? Am I supposed to go to a bar and drink? I don't know what the right thing is.
He started this interview
Right, as a
bawling.
pastor, should I just get on my knees and pray? I mean, I want to die in that moment. And so the next morning, I remember thinking, okay, if I stay home, I'm probably going to kill myself. I'm probably going to just go to heaven and be with her and be done. Because I need to be around people, but I don't want to be around people and come to church if I'm not going to preach, because then I'll be judging the guy that's preaching the whole time. And I can preach just as easy as I can breathe. So I'm just going to go in the mode of what I'm normally going to do and just continue my life normally. until I finally have to deal with what's going on. And so I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know the right
didn't know what
response. I
else
wish
to
somebody had
do.
told me, in hindsight, if I go back in time, I probably would have done the
Same
same thing and still
here,
preach.
Lori. Same here.
And then at the end, and the sermon
That's
was
why
about
it's so
leaving your
obvious
legacy and
to
the people
us,
you leave on
right?
earth and your memory just being
It's
left. I
so
thought maybe that's God.
obvious.
Then I thought, you know what, Micah would want me to preach. That's exactly what she'd want me to do. She'd be telling me to do it. She'd be trying to force me to do it. So I preached. And then at the end of the sermon, when I made the announcement was made, and of course, I'm not
can't
in a
keep
clear
his hands
thinking
off
frame
his
of mind. I mean,
nose.
it's like, it's not like I'm, kumbaya and got it all together. I said what I said because I didn't want them to think that it was because she's a bad person, or I wanted them to know, like, if Micah does anything that's out of character, it's because of her mental illness. It's not because of her. Like, she's a wonderful woman, full of integrity. When she's on her medicine, she's black and white, does the person, and I didn't want them to see her as someone that was bad. I wanted them to know it's just a sickness, like if you have heart disease or if you have, diabetes or whatever, mental illness, you need medicine to continue going forward. And so that's why I said that.
Also, something I found interesting in that moment, you said, before I tell you this news, I'm going to paraphrase here. I'm going to tell you this news, and I want you to leave. I don't want you to stand up and talk about it. Why?
That's a great question, and that was actually intentional, because the last thing I wanted my wife, I wanted them to go up and take it to Jesus before they start, doing what some Christians like to do and just chatter, and I didn't want to experience the extra pain. I didn't want to be mad at somebody in my church because I heard them say, well, I'm not even going to guess at what somebody could say, but I didn't want anybody to say anything negative about my wife.
Another point of concern, let's say, for people watching, was when you gave a eulogy. Was something concerning. People said that was concerning that you said that you tried to raise Micah from the dead. And I believe at another point you said you laid next to her body in the morgue. Is that true?
I didn't lay next to her body. I mean, I couldn't, you can't lay next to her because her body's up on this thing, but I hugged her. And I sat on the floor, next to her and just talked to her for a while. But yeah, I tried raising her from the dead. Because you know what? If it had worked,
Because he's Jesus,
we'd have
right?
a whole different story. But God forbid me not try it and always wonder the rest of my life, would it have worked? Right? Jesus did it. Elisha did it. There's a few other people in the Bible. And so, yes, if somebody I love more than anything in the world has passed away what I believe to be an early death, you better believe I'm going to try to, in Jesus' name, raise them from the dead.
Give me a break.
I believe in healing. I believe in
Give me a
miracles.
break.
I believe in the raising of the dead. I'm a one God, apostolic, tongue-talking, holy rolling, born again, heaven-bound believer in the liberated power of Jesus' name. I'm not ashamed of it.
Well, you
All right,
can't
I'll show y'all
argue that it would
something.
certainly
Hold on
be
one
a different
second.
story if he'd been able to raise.
Okay. I want to show you. I'm going to switch over here real quick. And show you this one. Okay, this is Plunder. She did a reaction to this as well.
Yeah, I saw it coming for years. She would say, one thing about 100 people. We had dinner that who I can't, and there's all the receipts from that throughout the time. I think we might have gotten gas too. According to what she's over again, and she would wake up and say, I think
Odd when you heard.
I didn't think it was real. I told her family this so many. Told her this on
Gaslighting
paperwork where
the
her doctor
hell,
said
ain't
that it was
he?
all crazy. I made a vow that it wasn't. A family member called the hospital and I said, there's I don't remember. He said the weapon and all these different facts, and so purchased a weapon and tried to do the same thing. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I haven't taken professor or someone that could tell me when you spend 7 years trying to 7 years, then it happens. I don't know. I mean, I want to die in the people you leave on earth. I made the announcement. If Micah does anything that's out of, diabetes or whatever, I'm going to take it to Jesus before they start the story. But God forbid me in the Bible, and so more than anything in the world, there's any other couple that's been able to wake up before me. But yes, actually, if I wanted, and I did it because the night this for 4 hours,
feel any part responsible?
Something is really wrong with that so-called pastor, Pastor John Paul Miller. I just counted 44 times. I had to go through and just edit that up. His two most recent videos with mainstream media, the Myrtle Beach Sun News and News Nation, he touched his nose at least 44 times. Those are only the times when he was on camera. So it was probably truly about 100. Let's talk about these interviews. So the Myrtle Beach Sun News, and you'll find links to both of them below, along with links to all those police reports from Horry County.
Hold on, I gotta get to the part where he started the interview bawling. I gotta get to that part. I gotta show you that. Let's see, is this it? Hang on. I'm getting to it. Let's see. We're gonna go here.
From the dead woman herself, through these court reports, through these police transcripts, through all of it, saying she was mistreated by her husband. It's not us saying it, it's Micah saying it. So they're getting to the medication, and he was told she's not a danger to society. Then they're breaking down, where were you when Micah died? Oh, it was a Saturday. I was in Charleston with about 100 people, kids, and the reporter's trying to say, okay, where? JP's like, oh, it's a soccer tournament. You know, he shuts his mouth when it comes to true details. And so he's saying, look, do you have documentation, basically? You said soccer, and then JP's laughing. Oh, you're asking, yeah. Oh, of course. I can't believe people. That JP keeps banging. I guess it would be.
I gotta go back to.
We'd go work out together every day, 5 days a week. We'd eat lunch together every day. We would work together every day. We'd pick up the kids, do stuff with the kids every day. We'd go to dinner every night together. Then every night we would have our routine. So there's three things we would do. We would either sit in the bathtub together for 2 hours until the water went from steaming hot to ice cold. She bought this big air mattress we'd put in the back of the truck, and we'd go park somewhere here in Myrtle Beach where there's no lights, and she'd bring us some hot chocolate, and we'd lay on the air mattress for 2 hours. Or we would go out on the beach with our beach blanket and lay there for 2 hours. But the point was, no cell phones, just her and I.
Exaggerating once
She would
again.
talk 90% of the time. I would talk 10% of the time, and I would just listen. And so every night, 2 hours, we'd hang out together. And
He's
so
always
was our marriage healthy?
exaggerating the
It's probably
numbers.
as healthy as any other American marriage.
Have you ever abused your wife?
Never, not once in any way, shape, or form. I took better care of her than anybody could ever take care of her. I never asked her to clean the house, not once in 7 years of marriage. She never had to cook a single meal. She never had to work. She was never harmed physically in any way.
In a letter or in an email you wrote to Micah, you apologized,
Yes.
right? You apologized for tracking her, for messing with her tires, for posting the picture. So that's all true, right?
So if I
You did all
wanted, great question. I'm so glad you asked that, actually. If I wanted to lie about that, I would just say I never wrote the letter, right? Because how can you prove that I wrote somebody a letter? There's no signature, there's no name, it's not in my handwriting. But I 100% wrote the letter. And I did it because the night that she was with me, the last night we were together for 4 hours, at one point, because the whole 4 hours I'm trying to get her to take her medicine. And then she said, my family doesn't want me to, they don't want me to come inside the house. Maybe it's your house, come inside. So finally we get to the point, she says, you know what, I'll take my medicine and I'll come home if you'll give me $10,000 and if you'll write me an apology letter.
So let me understand this correctly. The email that you wrote to Micah, apologizing for hiring a PI, tracking her, messing with her tires, and posting a topless photo of her. You wrote that, you say,
Yes,
but
sir.
now you're saying that you didn't actually do these things.
I did the PI thing, but so over the years what I've learned with her is when she's in a delusional state of mind, I have to play into it in order to get her back on medicine. So the first year or two, when she'd say something, I'd say, that's not true, that's not real. She'd get mad and blow up and, knock a hole in the wall or something like that. So then by December 2019, I think it was, we were watching TV and she just stopped and said, "You're a double agent." And I said, "No, I'm not." She said, "Yes, you are." She said, "And I'm going to call the police." She said, "You're a double agent, you've stolen my things, and I'm going to put you in jail." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, what do I do?" She hadn't been taking her medicine.
So just to be clear, you wrote this to Micah, but now you're saying you didn't do those things.
No, I did not slash the tire. I did not. I don't think there's a naked picture of her anywhere, ever. Anyway, I think that was just a made-up thing. And I think that her tire just got something ran over, from what I understand. I don't know. I didn't see anything. But I did hire the PI before. I did everything I could to stop her from getting a weapon, everything you could imagine. I hired a private eye, and I said, put a tracker on her car, and if she gets anywhere near a gun store, please let me know. I did everything I could think of. And
did that private eye alert you
she never,
that day?
No, I had stopped paying for it about 4 weeks beforehand. Yeah.
Why?
I understand that. I understand that.
People telling me that she was totally
100%.
fine and I'm wasting my time.
So what do you say to the doubters and critics who say you drove her to suicide?
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. So wait, she wasn't with me. Because listen, with me, she didn't commit suicide. Apart from me for 3 months and with her family, she did commit suicide. One of the last things she showed me a book she's reading called "I Love Jesus, But I Want to Die." And I said, "Why do you want to die?" She said, "Because I can't come home because my family won't let me." That's what I say to them.
Give me a break.
Still to come, there is no question.
Here we go. Right here.
Yes. And then the moment in John Paul's interview that shocked our whole crew.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Need a minute.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
What a
What
guy.
on earth led to this? All that next.
What in the hell? Oh, this guy. He needs an Academy Award. I say he's high.
When Micah Miller
I
died
think he's
almost
high as
3
kite.
months ago, her
With you,
family and her
Lori.
friends most certainly hoped
He's
that
been
she'd rest in
snorting some
peace.
Roxy's.
But that has not happened. Since that tragic day, her estranged husband, Pastor John Paul Miller, has been the subject of whispers and rumors and rampant
Absolutely,
suspicion,
Lori.
even though the pastor hasn't been charged with anything. JP, as he's known to his family and friends, he's been very tight-lipped, saying almost nothing publicly about what happened to his wife and what happened between them before she died. But now he is talking, and he's talking to us. And he's answering all of our questions, even the ones that were uncomfortable and awkward, and the ones that made him cry. Here is his conversation with News Nation correspondent Rich McHugh.
You think so?
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Need a minute.
Oh, man.
What a piece of
Oh,
garbage.
man.
What's tripping you up?
Just being able to tell. Just being able to talk about everything. It feels like that people don't care to hear the truth. They just want to go off of feelings and believe whoever screams the loudest rather than whoever has the proof.
Do you feel that you did anything that you would change? Do you feel any part responsible?
God, that's a great question. Man, that's such a good question. Wow, what a good question. Can I have a second to think about it?
Sure.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. What would I do differently? Oh man. I know what I do. I know what I do. I would not involve her family when she's having mental episodes and is schizophrenic.
Gaslighting.
And, is off her meds. I would never have texted them.
We've seen you dressed as Spider-Man in videos.
Okay, let me just
And her-
wait, hold on. I'm not Spider-Man.
In your,
I can neither
in your
confirm nor
text
deny.
to me, it says Spider-Man as the person who's texting me. So we've seen you in videos dressed as Spider-Man. We know there's a Spider-Man character in the back of your house somewhere. Her family wonders if you have identity issues and this need to align with superheroes. What's your reaction? And what's the reason for the Spider-Man?
Well, first of all, I can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever put on a Spider-Man costume. But you'll never see me in the same room with Spider-Man, I will say that. And I don't know, people say stuff. Me and Micah would go to...
So you don't get in a Spider-Man costume? I mean, you just sent me a picture with you and Spider-Man.
Me and Micah, we'd go to Comic-Cons every year. We both dress up. Micah dressed up more than I did, actually. There are times I didn't dress up, and she
Right.
did. We love that kind of stuff.
Wild card, I know, right?
She was Wonder Woman, she was Spider-Woman, she was Mystique.
Okay,
She
let's
was,
talk about that for a second.
She was a lot of different characters.
What do y'all think? There's only 3 of us in here. What do y'all think is up with these men and there's the superhero complex? And he called it what, cosplay, LARPing. What's up with that? I do it because I, have some arrested development where I was, traumatized at the age of 10 and had to leave my childhood home and flee to safety. So I had to leave baby dolls behind and grow up real quick like at 10. So now as an adult, I dress up and play with baby dolls. Okay, so and what I've read is that's pretty healthy for the trauma I've been through and a good coping mechanism. That's healthy. This is odd. This is odd. He dressed up, I don't know if you guys know this or not. He dresses up as Spider-Man a lot. He dresses up as Spider-Man around the house. He was seen washing his truck in a Spider-Man costume. He goes about the neighborhood this way. He also, they said that he wore it during an interview. I gotta find that interview.
So you're not even going to grant that there's something odd here?
No, I'm not. No. I put on Spider-Man costume. I go see handicapped children.
No, he don't.
I'll go
That's
visit kids that love comic books and are handicapped.
Yeah, that's the
pretend like I'm
ticket.
Spider-Man, and I'll take
That's
them a
what I
comic
did.
book and,
I went and saw some sick
do
kids.
videos
Yeah,
with them
that's
and
why I
stuff
did
like
it.
One of the videos that has surfaced recently is from years ago.
Isn't
And
it?
I'm sure you know what it is. You're sitting face down on the ground and you're freaking out and you're talking about, you're literally squealing about being eaten by ants. Taking the wrong meds, that you missed your family.
Is your medication something they gave you?
I mean, for viewers, for people watching it, the common thought
knows
is,
that
what
what-
is going on
he's
here?
like,
And do you
oh,
have a
hell.
drug problem?
No, so
hell no,
I
I'm
fell out of
going
a tree,
down.
a giant magnolia tree. It was like 300 years old. I broke 12 bones.
He is
It was
nuts.
10 to 12 bones. I don't know if you count fingers. Yeah, it is count fingers. Anyway, I have all this metal in my body, and I'd never taken pain meds in my life, and I just had my body cast taken off, and so I took a little bit.
I do not believe he's never taken pain meds in his life.
Too much pain meds that day.
That's it.
That's
Just
it.
what?
That's not-
Percocet?
I don't remember any of them. It was 2017, 2016, and it was like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. And I was missing my family. My wife, Micah, and I, we started through an affair, and so we were both married to people, and then we got divorced, and I was missing my family because I'd lost my family at the time, and I was on pain meds, and it just all went together. I fell out of a tree, broke a bunch of bones, took too many pain meds. That was that story.
Not hallucinogenics.
No, what would hallucinogenic be?
Make you hallucinate.
Well, what makes you hallucinate?
Drugs.
Like illegal drugs?
Hallucinogenic drugs, yeah.
Oh, I've never done a legal drug my whole life.
Okay.
Well, was a lie. I'm sorry. That was a lie. When I was 16 years old, one time I was in a truck with two of my friends, and they were both smoking pot. I didn't smoke any, but they do a thing called hot box, and so I got some of that. And I tried steroids one time.
I remember President Clinton once.
This is such bullshit. I'm going to back this up because I want y'all to hear what he just said. Hold on. This could not be. I want to see the behavior panel psychoanalyze this man. I want to see the behavior panel psychoanalyze this guy. Right here.
I mean,
want to
for
start
viewers, for people watching it, the common thought is, what is going on here, and do you have a drug problem?
No, so I fell out of a tree, a giant magnolia tree. It was like 300 years old. I broke 12 bones. It was 10 to 12 bones. I don't know if you count fingers. Yeah, it is count fingers. Anyway, I have all this metal in my body, and I'd never taken pain meds in my life, and I just had my body cast taken off, and so I took a little bit too much pain meds that day.
That's it.
That's
just
it.
What? Percocet?
I don't remember any of them. It was 2017, 2016, and it was like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. And I was missing my family. My wife, Micah, and I, we started through an affair, and so we were both married to people, and then we got divorced, and I was missing my family because I'd lost my family at the time, and I was on pain meds, and it just
You're
all
fine,
just
Goddess.
went
Good
together.
to see you.
But fell out of a tree, broke a bunch of bones, took too many pain meds. That was that story.
Okay, no, wait.
No, what is
When he said that he fell out of a tree, a magnolia tree, that tree was in front of this wife's house, his estranged wife. He was cheating on with Micah. That tree that he fell out of, I think, is that tree that he was trying to poison so that he could see into her living room. This guy's an idiot.
What would hallucinogenic be?
Make you hallucinate.
Well, what makes you hallucinate?
Drugs.
Like illegal drugs?
Hallucinogenic drugs, yeah.
Oh, I've never done a legal drug my whole life.
Okay.
Well, oh crap, that was a lie. I'm sorry, that was a lie. When I was 16 years old, one time I was in a truck with two of my friends, and they were both smoking pot. I didn't smoke any, but they do a thing called hot box, and so I got some of that. And I tried steroids one time.
I remember President Clinton once saying that he didn't inhale either. Still to come, the fallout from Pastor John Paul Miller's blockbuster interview with News Nation. What does Micah Miller's family have to say about all of this backtracking and his erratic behavior?
Like she was so
all
full
of this
of life
strange stuff on the
her
part of their
exotic
former son-in-law.
features. She
Maybe
was
more
just so
importantly,
pretty.
what does law enforcement have to say? That's next. If the backstory is big enough, dramatic or tragic or mysterious enough, it can eclipse the actual story, which in the case of Micah Miller is a healthy young woman's sudden and untimely death. There's ample reason to accept the official conclusion that Micah took her own life, whatever led her to do it. But not everybody agrees. Here's what Micah's sister said to our Rich McHugh back in May.
So over here would be where her remains were found down the river, and then all the way through this trail, all the way up here, where her purse and her phone was found.
And this water is not moving; it's just
Not at all.
stagnant water.
It's not moving at all.
So presumably, how would she?
There's no logical explanation with the.
Or just keep it on if you could.
The theory of suicide does not add up to me, because you're telling me her body floated all the way down this stagnant water, and her
From up
belongings
here.
were all the way up here. We had to walk down a trail, a separate trail, climb through all this mud and trees and fallen debris to even get to where her body was, down the water. It's not like she could have left her belongings and walked down the water and then committed suicide down here, and then somehow the bullets and everything stayed over there. There's no
And the gun was
logical.
found up here.
There's no logical explanation for this.
Next week on our show, Micah's family responds to everything you heard tonight from Pastor John Paul Miller. And Micah's own words in a phone message to her estranged husband. And it is not what you might think. Be sure to...
Okay, I'm going to back up where I was talking over some of this that I thought just screamed the guy's a wackadoodle. Let me go back here. Where was it? He just started breaking down. Let's see if I can get to it. I want to see where he was breaking down right here. Right there.
Oh, man.
What's tripping you up?
Just, to tell,
Hey, Sergeant.
being able to talk about
Stadeka.
everything. It feels like, that, people don't care to hear the truth. They just want to go off of feelings and believe, whoever screams loudest rather than whoever, has the proof.
Do you feel that you did anything that you would change? Do you feel any part responsible?
God, that's a great question. Man, that's such a good question. Wow, what a good question. Can I have
Okay, I want y'all to tell me what's happening here. Why is he being so over the top dramatic? And in his mind, he thinks he's being a gregarious, charismatic, charming guy. But to us, everyone in the room is going, what a wackadoodle. I really do not think he has any self-awareness whatsoever. I really believe that this guy thinks he's coming off as just a great guy. Just putting the word pastor before his name, he thinks keeps him from judgment. In my mind, he's a total wackadoodle. I had a boyfriend long ago that acted like him. I feel your pain. I'll just put this right here. All too well. All too well. The ones that are the constant victims. They didn't cause anything. It's that phrase in that song by Billy Joel. Just a victim of circumstance. No one is a victim of circumstance. You caused those circumstances, right? The second round of his drugs are kicking in right there. You think that's why he broke down and started crying? Everyone needs to come to grips with the fact that the FBI is corrupt. They are not going to save the day. That's sad. I can remember when they prescribed for me 25 years ago. How I forgot, right? He's totally warped. Hotbox in the car. Yeah. And then he's like so over the top dramatic when this guy asks him a question. He gets so dramatic.
being able to talk about everything? It feels like, that, people don't care to hear the truth. They just want to go off of feelings and believe, whoever screams the loudest rather than whoever, has the proof.
Do you feel that you did anything that you would change? Do you feel any part responsible?
God, that's a great question. Man, that's such a good question. Wow, what a good question. Can I have a second to think about it?
Sure.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. What would I do differently? Oh man. I know what I do. I know what I do. I would not involve her family when she's having mental episodes and is schizophrenic and is off her meds, I would never have texted him.
We've seen you dressed as Spider-Man in videos.
Okay, let me just wait, hold on. I'm not Spider-Man.
In your,
I can neither
in your
confirm nor
text
deny.
to me, it says Spider-Man as the person who's texting me. So we've seen you in videos dressed as Spider-Man. We know there's a Spider-Man character in your the back of your house somewhere. Her family wonders if you have identity issues and this need to align with superheroes. What's your reaction? And what's the reason for the Spider-Man?
Well, first of all, I can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever put on a Spider-Man costume. But you'll never see me in the same room with Spider-Man, I will say that.
Is he such a weirdo? His moods are so all over the map. His thoughts are so all over the map, right? Yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to bring up. My internet is running kind of slow, but I think I'll just do it tomorrow. Everything the detective said to me the day he called to tell me my baby sis had passed away. How does he not remember? Absolutely agree with you there. He is on some nose candy. His sense of humor does suck. I think that I think it's opiates. In my opinion, he's snorting opiates. That's my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all real quick here. God, why is it running so slow? I guess I need to update Chrome. Let's see, who was it that was doing it? It was Harvey. Subscriptions here. Hold on one second. I'm going to pull this up here. My internet is just creeping by, man. I guess it needs updated. Is it going to run it or not? I don't know. Here's my subscriptions. I hate it when it runs slow and I'm live. It's a real pain in the ass. His name is something Harvey. Looking for it. Can't think of his first name. Something Harvey. He has been following this case too. Give me 1 second. Docket. It's not going to come through. I agree, definitely opiates. Hell, maybe a little bit of, yeah, could be. He's on something. I was thinking more like meth. Makes more sense with his sexual proclivities. I think pain meds can exacerbate your sex drive too, because your senses are all, he's got money snorting. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, let me try this one here. What the hell is his name? Let me go look right here. I'll use my phone. That way I can find it quicker. Looking for a particular video here. Let's see, live, the Robbie Harvey show, that's it. His name is Robbie Harvey. Okay. It's trying to pull this up here. Okay, that's plunder. What did I say his name was? Sorry, I'm getting on my own nerves. This fucking internet pisses me off. Gavin, was that the guy who said it was that couple? Or was it Harvey? Robbie Hart. Why can I never remember this dude's name? Yeah, he was live last night. Okay, finally found it. Rob Harvey, that's his name. Yes, I understand.
Hey everybody, welcome to my live for the evening. We've got a lot to get to. So
Let's go to...
saw Micah needed help. She needed medical attention. And Micah's sister was there too. That's where Micah's sister found her, allegedly.
Okay, so let's go to...
Know that if it involves John Paul Miller, the FBI knows about it. So I'm not going to question whether they're on it or not. I think it's safe to say that they will be on it once, and they probably already know the details. I don't know. Let's just understand that once those lawsuits come out.
I am glad you're saying that. That is exactly... Okay. Thank you for bringing that up, Sergeant Stadenko. I agree with you. I totally agree with you because it is fact that he was SA'd by his father. His father has been wanted by Pakistan for years, allegedly messing with underage children in their school over there. I also believe that all narcissists hide a deep-seated secret, in my opinion, most of which is this right here. I watched a video from a counselor that emphasized that it is usually the fact that they were hiding their true identity, which makes them the narcissist, the mask that they talk about. That is their true self, and that they are angry and full of rage because they have to live this fake life, and this festers, and the older they get, the more angry they are. But the true reason is they are hiding their true identity, a secret, a deep, dark secret. And in my opinion, this was his secret. I totally agree with you.
We're probably weeks behind. You get what I mean? So I believe I've been told that you wait until the end, especially in a federal investigation, and it all comes down at once. Tony K, $5. Thank you so much, Tony, for your gift. Hey, Ginger McAllister, thank you.
Let's get back over here to... Well, the one that I wanted to show, I guess this is not it. It talks about that couple. I'm gonna find it, and tomorrow we'll talk about why I believe this particular couple could be who lured him there. Yes, his father's extremely corrupt. Yes, Yes. If my internet was updated, I would show you more, but it's not. I need to run an update on my Chrome. So either later today when I finish getting some errands run and work, maybe I can go back live again and we'll go over it again after my update. That's pretty much my live. I wanted to showcase the interview and how many times he messed with his nose. So I think we all know who the real mentally ill person here is. They like to gaslight us empaths into believing that it's us, not them. They're the victims. The world revolves around them, and everyone else is in their way. If you can think of it like that, that's a true narcissist. You're in their world, and you're in their way. All right, well, I will see you guys later. I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me today. And we'll talk some more tomorrow on the Micah Miller case. Thanks for coming. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Your daily grind.